They're back. I thought I was done with these. Did that many people want information from me? They all got a microphone for me to answer your questions? All right. Well, let's get into it. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. In a recent video, I set up my computer to record each of these microphones to be able to compare how each of them sound, and it took me a couple different resources to figure that out. So instead, I figured I would make a single resource for you guys and for anyone else who is kind of in my position trying to figure this out. So a one-stop shop, if you will. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So first things first, you're going to need to open up your audio MIDI settings. Next, we're going to come down to this bottom left plus sign and click Create Aggregate Device. Now, in the case of the MV7, we do have an in and out for a singular source. In the case of the Comica and the Audio Technica, you'll need to make sure you select each separate in and out source. So, Audio Technica, Comica, and the Shure MV7. And so that we don't hate ourselves later, let's go ahead and give this aggregate device a name. I like to call it exactly what it is. So AT 2020 MV7 Comica. I probably could have also called it mic combo. Yeah. All right. So now that we've done that, we can now go ahead and open Adobe Audition or whatever your preferred audio recording resource is. In this case, I'm using Adobe Audition. Once that's open, we can go into File, New, Multi-Track Session. We can go ahead and give it a name. I was gonna do for the boys, but this ain't TikTok. This is for YouTube. So next, we're gonna choose where we're going to save that. I already have a folder set up for this. I believe that's the path. Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and leave everything else as is and hit OK. So now we'll need to go into our preferences, specifically into audio hardware. We're going to need to change our default output to our mic combo as well as the input. Actually, for output, I think I can leave it as external headphones. Then hit OK. Next, we're going to need to select our input source. So where it says default stereo input, we can choose either mono or stereo, and this is going to be our first microphone. So in this particular case, I'm going to set the first one to be the Shure MV7, the second one to be the Audio Technica, and the third to be the Comica. I'm going to do mono. You could definitely do stereo, but based on how my recording for that other video went, I'm going to stick with mono for the sake of this microphone. So next, for each microphone that we want to record, we need to hit this little R. So the MV7, the Audio Technica, and the Comica. So if I tap on each of these, the MV7, you'll see the highest peak was on that microphone. The Audio Technica should be the next one down. And lastly, the Comica. You're going to hear a little bit on the other microphones just because they're so close to each other. So now we should be able to hit record. This will allow us to record a piece of audio from each microphone. I could then play each piece of audio back so that way you could hear what each of these sound like. Now that will depend on how we export this audio. If we were to export it as all one chunk, then every single audio source would get put together. However, that's not what we want for the sake of comparing, and also so we have more control over how each microphone sounds. We want to export these as individual tracks. So we're going to hit stop on this recording. And now we can export this project in such a way that we get 3 individual audio files. Once we are done, yes, you could do a butt ton of editing in Adobe Audition, but that's a whole separate video. nor is it a video I'm probably going to make because that's not my strong suit. I'm just here to show you how to set this up. And you can, if you're a video person like me, then you're going to do all your post-processing in your video editor, or hopefully hire someone to do your audio editing for you. Maybe, I don't know, whatever works. It's a YouTube video. So you're going to go File, Export, Multi-Track Mixdown, Entire Session. All of this should be fine. Make sure you are choosing the proper format that you want it to be. Sure would be a shame to export and then have it be in a unusable format. So MP3 or whatever audio format you want to use. I'm going to use MP3. Then come down to the Mixdown options and select Change. We do not want the mix of all of it together. So I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to instead select the track. This will give me tracks 1, 2, and 3. And if you remember, track 1 was the Shure MV7, which you're listening to right now. Track 2 was the Audio Technica, and track 3 was the Comica. So once we have that, we can leave everything else and hit OK. And again, make sure that it is set to where you want to save it to. Then I believe anything that is in the file name is what the recording will start with, then followed by what that audio source was. I'm just going to leave it as is. You could change it to be something else, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to hit OK. So now if I come into my audio file where I've saved this, as you can see, it starts with for the video mixdown, which is what that file was in, _ track 1. And as you remember, this was our MV7, this was our Audio Technica, and this was our Comica. And we can play each of these back, realizing you're not going to be able to hear that because that's not how I have this set up to record. But anyway, that's how you set up a multi-mic recording setup and export as individual audio files for whatever your project is, be it a podcast or for a YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!